Rosy, that was the Blackburn Garden after the first weekend of the Premiership. They tore Wolves apart and went to the top of the league. Five goals, everyone a peach. Then it went pear-shaped. Last season's best performers were suddenly fallible.
Brad said no was next to me.
Their opponents' newcomers hit.
We make no illegal offers, not shining on us.
Their own newcomers missed.
We've gifted them 2 goals, which is not good enough at this level. It's at times like this you've got to dig deep and show what you're really made of, and we'll have to do that.
No one expected Blackburn to struggle this season, least of all the boss. Would you like a win tonight, Graham?
Yes, please.
Standing in his way, Alan Kirbishley and his Londoners. With the odd Italian, Paolo Di Canio starts tonight. It's Monday Night Football, it's from Ewood Park, it's the Premiership match between Blackburn Rovers and Charlton. A very good evening. Blackburn finished 6th last season. Tonight they're 15th and they've already been knocked out of Europe. How they could do with a win against a Charlton team who traditionally struggle at Ewood. They've had only 1 win there in the last 21 years. Before kick-off tonight, we'll also look back at the weekend where goalkeepers have been in the news again, and we've got one with us. Tim Flowers, of course, won the title with Blackburn. That was a few years ago. Nowadays, he spends his time passing on his knowledge to Leicester's Ian Walker. And the fan zone contains its usual mix of cartoon characters. There's Happy, Grumpy, and this week, Clumsy. And of course, we'll not just look back, but we'll look ahead with all the usual pre-match build-up from Ewood Park. Let's begin at the Walkers Stadium, where Tim, the top 2 in La Liga, second place Deportivo against the leaders Valencia. That's 8 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra on Saturday. And then on Sunday it's Murcia against Atletico Madrid, 8 o'clock Sky Sports Extra. That's on Sunday. Tonight is Monday and we're at Ewood Park for the Premiership meeting of Blackburn Rovers and Charlton Athletic. The kick-off is at 8 o'clock. Blackburn have had a very disappointing season after that wonderful start. The fans are still arriving, despite the disappointing start to their season. What do they think of this season so far?
It's very disappointing. We looked like we had a very good squad improved from last year, but some of his buys haven't really paid off. Ferguson needs to adapt to the Premiership, and Amoruso has been a little bit disappointing, but I think we'll get there eventually.
I don't think Souness is going anywhere. He's got Barry Ferguson here, and he's very pleased at that signing.
Pitiful compared to last season, and I don't know what this defence is, whether it gels or whether it doesn't, but I can't see it doing personally. I think they're too slow at the back.
We've played better than what we've got points on the board. We really, really have. So the man will turn it round. We've got a good manager here. He's a good fella. And if they don't, he'll kick arse.
He will. Right, there's nothing else to say about that. So let's talk about the form guide, because
Premiership, if they win tonight, they go on the same points as Charlton, who are 10th. And you win again next week, and all of a sudden you're in the top 8, and everything's rosy in the garden again. So, you know, it's still early days.
But essentially it's the same squad. There have been a couple that Duff and Dunn have got, and people like Barry Ferguson, Amoruso have come in, but essentially it's the same squad. Why the difference?
Essentially, well, players and teams' forms sort of fluctuate, you know, and I think the fella who was interviewed last with a cloth cap on had a good shout, really, you know. People need time to settle in. Amoruso needs time to adapt from the SPL, as does Barry Ferguson. But there's one or two when you look at Gresko and Brett Emerton, Thompson. They're all trying to settle in as quickly as possible. And as I say, 2 quick results and you know, the whole situation changes. Right, well, Craig's going to be in the sweaty booth tonight commentating for us. Why do you think the form has been so different to last season?
I think the main one is Damien Duff. That's such a loss.
He made that much difference.
He was fantastic. He could just turn a game without a shadow of doubt. You just put the ball out to him and he will roast any defender. You pick any of the top 3 teams that finished last year, you'd put Damien Duff to win against every single one of those defenders. He was such a difference to us. David Dunn, he went off the boil. I agree completely with what Graham Souness said about David Dunn. I think he got caught up in himself. He really did.
He tried to do too many of those, did he?
Well, you saw earlier, his little flicks. You did see a lot of that at the end of his career at Blackburn. He was showboating too much.
Yeah.
And Souness doesn't want those sort of players. He's brought in Ferguson now. He's claimed he's his most excited buy he's ever bought. He's got to settle in. In Scotland, Barry Ferguson was a fantastic player for Rangers.
He's finding it fast, isn't he?
Very fast. I think Amoruso's the same. The attitude of Amoruso, unfortunately, is he only had to raise a game for Celtic last year, maybe Hearts if they were playing well. This year, I think he's gone in the same attitude. Is against top teams when we're playing Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, he'll raise his game. He'll be fantastic.
Has your manager had a row with Dwight Yorke? What's happened? He's not even on the bench.
I don't know. Reading in the papers yesterday, I think he's going to cut his losses on Yorkie. When he brought him in, he wasn't doing anything fantastic for us. He scored a few goals. He was good for Cole, but nothing special. And now he's got a Grabby. He's got a preference over Yorkie. You've got 19-year-old Paul Gallagher got preference over Yorkie. It's not too long before he's out the door.
Okay, well, let's talk about the team, shall we? We've mentioned the fact that Dwight Yorke doesn't even get a look in. This is the lineup, and we reckon 5 in midfield, Cole on his own.
Yeah, it looks that way, but it won't obviously stay like that very long after the whistle blows, because you'll expect Thompson to get forward. I would think, Tugay's the man that basically makes Blackburn tick. He gets on the ball as often as he can. He's got tremendous range of passing. Gary Flitcroft is a workhorse, basically. Will get his foot in. He will probably cover every blade of grass on Ewood. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen Barry Ferguson play in the Premiership yet, so I'm looking forward to that one. But there'll be plenty of that middle 5, if you like, getting forward to get round and help Andy Cole. I personally think they missed Craig Short at the back. Young Martin Taylor was there when I was there. Really has come on in leaps and bounds, looks a very good young centre-half. And Todd has been recalled, from a loan period now as cover. But it'll be an interesting game, and not very often you see Rovers line up 4-5-1.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they line up against a team which, again, we reckon is going to be the more traditional formation of 4-4-2. Yeah. What advantage does it give Blackburn or Charlton to be in those different formations?
Well, I don't know. I think it's more about players and formations, to be honest with you. But obviously Blackburn will, if they get back, what they'll do, I think, is as they attack, they'll get 2 or 3 men forward from that group of 5 across the middle to help Andy Cole. But as soon as it breaks down, they'll be expected to get back into that 5 as a shape, as a 4-5-1. They'll probably have an extra man in midfield, but it's not really that much about it really. But certainly, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the clash of styles, to be honest with you.
And what's the situation with the goalkeeper at Blackburn Rovers? Because last season, Brad Friedel was undoubtedly, if not the best, certainly in the top 2 in the Premiership. And this season, just a little off his game, and making not just errors, but quite alarming errors occasionally.
Yeah, I must admit I've been through it myself. Certainly at Blackburn as well. The year after we won the league, we had a sloppy start to the following campaign. I was as much to blame as anyone else, and you go through that as a goalkeeper. But Brad, I voted for Brad last year. He was the best goalkeeper in the division, and that doesn't change overnight. So these things happen, and he's a big enough man to deal with that. I'm sure of that. He's arguably America's best goalkeeper with Casey. So I'm sure he'll respond to it.
But last season this wouldn't have happened, would it? This is the last minute against Man City.
Yeah, I was actually here with you that game. But Brad was awesome last year. Graham Souness went on record many times saying so. And these things happen to goalkeepers, as we've seen in your clips beforehand. Carlo Cudicini as well, fantastic last season. And, that happens to him. Doesn't make him a bad goalkeeper.
Yeah. So you would say though that it's only a temporary loss of form. This is just a minor blip, as Mr. Lawson used to say.
Absolutely. I wouldn't even say he's lost his form. It's just the odd error, in certain games. But speaking from experience, I know that happens, and you've got to work hard in training and get it out of your system.
That's at the back for Blackburn. At the front, we've already said that Dwight Yorke is playing no part in this match tonight at all. He's not even on the substitutes bench. But his old partner from Manchester United is playing up front on his own. That's Andy Cole. He's very near to a record. He needs to score one more time.
One more
One more goal tonight, or whenever, and it's 250 goals for this 32-year-old. He's only scored 5 so far this season. Some people have said about Andy Cole that he needs, well, famously, one person said he needed 5 chances to score 1 goal. What's your take on Andy Cole?
Well, I don't agree with that. Anyone who averages better than a goal every 2 games doesn't need 5 chances. I mean, I've obviously played against Kiely over the years. You know, he only needs a couple for a goal, as his record suggests. Fantastic player. Very, very good on his right-hand side with his right foot. Decent in the air. Obviously got terrific pace. And he's always a threat. He plays on the shoulder of the last defender and looks for those little slidey balls through the middle of people, and he's been a superb exponent of that.
These are the players who are still playing. And as you can see, it's a couple of Leicester players there.
Look at that.
Brian Dean and Les Ferdinand, but Shearer miles ahead, Sheringham obviously, and then Andy Cole.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's testament to Kiely. I mean, Alan Shearer's, you know, over the course of the last 10-12 years has been arguably the best striker in the world. You know, and he's obviously quite a bit ahead there. But, I mean, Teddy Sheringham, his old strike partner, and then Kiely. So, you know, terrific. Terrific from Andy Cole.
So that's Andy Cole. Let's find out what the manager of Blackburn Rovers thinks ahead of tonight's game. Graham Souness is with Claire Tomlinson.
Graham, have you had to lift the players after the midweek UEFA Cup exit?
Well, we played very well that night, and I think the temptation was to feel sorry for ourselves after that because we had done everything right except put the ball in the back of the net. Tonight will be a different type of challenge for us. We've got to work hard against the team who's playing well, who will be full of confidence, but you know, we should be full of confidence as well the way we played against the Turkish team.
Just 1 win in the Premiership since the opening day. What hasn't been working domestically?
Well, we feel, I can tell what we've been doing badly, and that's defending. But that can happen. I think every team has a run of that sometime during the season. Hopefully ours has happened early on. Our football, for most of the games, has been good enough to get us points in games that we've lost. And I'm just hoping that Lady Luck turns for us tonight.
Does that run make tonight something of a pressure game?
Well, every game's a pressure game. You know, 3 points could put us in 10th position tonight, I believe. But there's a long way to go. As I said, we feel our football's been quite good, but our defending at times has been very poor. So hopefully tonight you see it all at the opposite end, us going forward, doing things right when it comes to defending a situation.
Andy Cole back tonight, but no room in the squad for Dwight York.
Yeah, well, we're going a certain way tonight, and we feel the substitutes that we've picked are best suited to the formation we're going to try and play tonight.
And what is that formation?
I'm not going to tell you.
Thanks, Graham.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very enigmatic. What does that say about Dwight York then? He's just out of the picture, isn't he?
Well, it looks that way at the minute, but you never can tell, can you? He was quite guarded there. But Dwight York's a quality player, so I'm sure he'll resurface in the Blackburn team at some stage.
Okay. Back in the picture, Paolo Di Canio. He's starting for Charlton tonight. Hasn't had that many starts for Charlton. He was picked up obviously in the summer after leaving West Ham. A couple of interesting statistics as far as his performances against this team, Blackburn Rovers, is concerned. When he was at West Ham, he lost 7-1 to Blackburn, and when he was at Sheffield Wednesday, he lost 7-2. Probably means nothing.
No.
How do you rate him now?
Oh, he's a wonderful player. He's one of them enigmatic sort of players that, you know, nothing can seem to be happening and he'll just pop up with a piece of sheer genius and turn a game, similar to your Letizier's, if you like, that sort of player, sort of mercurial type of talent. But, you know, again, having played against him, he's one of those that if you fall asleep for a couple of seconds, you'll find a ball nestling in the top sort of corner of your net. So you've got to be on your guard against him at all times.
He's never even, for all his skill, had a sniff of an international cap with Italy, has he? Why is that?
I really don't know. Having said that, I mean, Italy have produced so many great players. You know, when you look at your Baggios, and they're all in that sort of bracket. So maybe he's just been unlucky, you know, but he certainly set the Premier League alight with some unbelievable skills over the last sort of decade or so.
Playing for the first time alongside Johansson, the Finnish international.
Yep.
Again, looking at his record, his last start was in April, his last goal was in March, and he's only scored 4 goals in 55 appearances. It's not a great record, is it?
No, it's not brilliant. Scored goals for Glasgow Rangers before he came down south, but as we've said before, it's you know, with no disrespect at all, it is a very tough league, the English Premier League, and you know, it's chances are at a premium, and when you get them, you've got to take them. So we'll see tonight. I'm sure he's you know, relishing the challenge.
Okay, well, Kevin Lisby, who scored the hat-trick against Liverpool, isn't playing tonight. Jason Euell, who was out of favour for a while, doesn't start either. Let's hear from the manager of Charlton. Alan Kirbishley is with Claire.
Alan, it took a bit of time to get things going this season, but you feel things are coming together now?
Well, we have been inconsistent. We had a poor start, for sure, home to Man City, but, you know, in patches we've played well and in patches we haven't, and I think perhaps our points total, an average points total, is about where we are.
You've won more points away from home than at home. What do you put that down to?
Very similar to last season. You know, we had a really tough start at home last year, and it hasn't changed this year. You know, we get over tonight and we've got Arsenal at home. Just had Liverpool, we've had Man United at home. So we knew the start of the season was going to be tough for us. It's a question of picking up points.
And what are you expecting from Blackburn today? Well,
I think they're a good side. You know, and I've heard Graham talk about, you know, his front six, if you like, you know, the two boys up front and his four midfield players, and you know, they can win games for him. We know we've got a lot to do tonight to hold on to that and stop that, and to try and get our game going. But I feel confident we can do that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Just a word on your strike partnership, all change up front?
Well, I think it just sums up the season so far. You know, I know everyone's complaining about injuries, but we have had our fair share. And Richard Rufus and Gary Rowett are still out. But the two boys that have scored the goals in the last couple of games, and the games we've won, they're both out, Kevin Nisby and Sean Bartlett. But, you know, that's what the squad's for. So we're putting a side out tonight that is strong enough in my eyes. And, you know, the starting two will be Powell and Jonathan Johansson. Jason Yule's just come back, recovered from a knee injury, and he's been out for nearly 4 weeks. So I've decided to have him on the bench and start with the other two. But as I say, you know, we've got players out. Carlton Cole's out as well, but we can cope.
Kick-off at 8 o'clock. We're hoping for lots of goals tonight. If you wanted goals at the weekend, the cricket season has started again. It never really finished. Bangladesh against England. The series begins. You'll have to be up early on Tuesday to watch it. 4 a.m. the start on Sky Sports 2. That goes through until 11:30 in the morning. More leisurely watch will be the highlights. Tuesday, 4 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. You're watching Sky Sports 1. It's Blackburn Rovers against Charlton Athletic. It's the Monday night football. And fans from both sides looking for 3 valuable points tonight. It is, of course, the biggest game of the night. It's the only game of the night. The biggest game of the weekend in the Premiership against Blackburn. This is how they fared in the Premiership so far, and Blackburn very much having the upper hand. As far as Ewood Park is concerned, between these two teams, well, absolutely zip for Charlton. And the bookmakers reflect that form in this way, which 7-2 in a 2-horse race, and Charlton in the form they are, Blackburn in the form they are. What do you reckon tonight?
I think 7-2 is very generous. I've got to be honest. I think Blackburn will win. Ewood Park's a hard place to get a result as a visiting team, but 7-2 are generous odds on Charlton.
Monday night football, it's Blackburn against Charlton, and our commentators tonight, Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
And Blackburn's decline has been a little sudden and unexpected after the way they started the season, Alan, so what's gone wrong?
Good question. I mean, I do think what Graham Souness says is obviously correct. They have had individual mistakes at the back which have proved very costly. Brad Friedel, who didn't put a foot wrong last year, we saw here on Monday night a couple of weeks ago against Man City, letting one through his legs. Lorenzo Amoruso has struggled to settle in that unit at the back, and I mean, they have scored goals going forward, so I think that's the basic problem, and he'll be looking to amend that one tonight.
Well, he'll look to do it with only one striker. Let's take a look now at the Blackburn team, and Andy Cole returns from a pain in the neck, hoping to be one to Charlton. He's the only recognised striker in a team showing an extra midfielder from the one that lost in Europe in midweek. Barry Ferguson, ineligible for that game, returns amidst reports that he's already unsettled here. Lorenzo Amoruso has a knee injury, so Martin Taylor is back. There's no place in the 16 for Dwight York, and with Alan Kelly injured, summer signing David Yelldell is the reserve goalkeeper.
A change to Blackburn's normal 4-4-2. I think Graham Souness has recognised Charlton's strength in midfield and decided to bolster that area by putting in Barry Ferguson alongside Tugay and Gary Flitcroft. Andy Cole will start up front on his own, but I do think we'll see Emerton on the right and Thompson on the left supporting whenever they can.
Paolo Di Canio, who had a reputation for not playing in the north in the later part of his West Ham career, does play tonight from the start. He's paired with Jonathan Johansson, though Alan Kirbishley is at pains to point out that Jason Yule's omission has nothing to do with their well-publicised bust-up.
A regular 4-4-2 for Alan Kirbishley's side. Scott Parker, Matt Holland, ever presence in the middle. Klaus Jensen and Graham Stuart either side don't present width, and I think they'll be expecting their full-backs to overlap. But it's up front, it's the uncertain combination. Jonathan Johansson comes in for his first game, and he might find himself up front, a bit like Andy Cole at times, as Canio drops deep, wanders and tries to make things happen.
4 matches without a win then now for Blackburn. It's a time when Charlton have been showing improvement. They started the season disastrously with that home defeat by Manchester City, but they've been more successful on their travels, and they come into this off the back of 2 wins, a good one against Liverpool with Kevin Lisby injured tonight getting a hat-trick, and the 2-1 victory at Portsmouth. The one concern perhaps for Charlton is that their starting 11 tonight contains just one player who scored a league goal this season. That's Klaus Jansen, who scored against Wolves. A chance for Blackburn Rovers to get back on track. A match that, who knows, might be a playoff for the Tottenham manager's job. Alan Kirbishley and Graham Souness the candidates. Blackburn against Charlton, the match.
It's Monday Night Football in the Premiership from Ewood Park. It's Blackburn Rovers against Charlton, 15th against 10th. We are interactive. Craig and Simon are in their little booth for Fan Zone. We'll bring you their highlights after the final whistle. And the player cam to start with, Andy Cole chasing his 250th club goal. He scored 249. Commentary, Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne.
Chris Perry's just had his loan period from Tottenham extended. When he gets back to White Hart Lane, I wonder who his manager will be. Might be one of those involved here tonight, Alan Kirbishley or Graham Souness, though the Blackburn boss continues to refute suggestions linking him to the vacancy. Paolo Di Canio will be hoping to get his show at Charlton on the road. The only goal he scored for them so far was in the Carling Cup. Tonight would make a suitable way for him to score his maiden Premiership goal for them. Ever the showman, although Charlton fans haven't seen too much evidence of that from a strangely subdued Di Canio so far in his career at the Valley. Chris Perry. Play by Taylor. David Thompson. Cole was coming back from an offside position and didn't get back rapidly enough.
I'm just looking at the Charlton lineup. Alan Kirbishley's changed his system in midfield slightly. Matt Holland, who has played in the middle all season next to Scott Parker, he's out on the right. Klaus Jansen comes into the centre, so slight tactical adjustment by Alan Kirbishley. Graham Stuart on the left.
His kick aimed in the direction of Jonathan Johansson. There's Matt Holland. Canio pulls it across. And Stephen Reid in his makeshift role at right back gets it away. That's Gary Flitcroft. Fish to Stuart. Now Scott Parker. Stuart again. Closed down by Tugay, whose foot was a little too high. Graham Barber's the man in charge.
It's going to be an important battle in that midfield area. 4 good competitors. They all like to tuck in both sets of wide players.
Jensen's kick. By Todd. It's David Thompson. David Thompson, who was outstanding for Blackburn in their midweek aggregate defeat by Gençlerbirliği. The Turkish side, they drew 1-1 here in the week, but Blackburn really were unlucky. They hit the goal frame 3 times in that match. Their European exit wasn't as clouded as the result may make it appear. Here's Klaus Jansen. Luke Young. Todd having to try and hold off Emerton Johansson, who in Alan Kirbishley's view has been unlucky not to make the starting lineup already this season.
Well, they've had to swap things about up front. Sean Bartlett injured, Kevin Lisby of course helped himself to a few goals lately, but I think there's places up for grabs there in Charlton's forward line.
Perry hacking it away. Parker trying to make something of it and finds Graham Stuart here. Now Paolo Di Canio looks for Johansson. Got the faintest of touches to it.
If we'd have got a slightly better touch on that, Matt Holland had made the run in behind, wasn't trapped by David Thompson. Such a great athlete, Holland never stops running.
And a dependable player as well, rarely misses games. Challenged by Young. Just halting David Thompson's progress. Taylor's ball, left by York into the path of Thompson. And Charlton had bodies back to subdue the effort from David Thompson.
Well, they did, but that was a let-off. From Blackburn's point of view, beautiful piece of play, and the lay-off by Andy Cole was exquisite. David Thompson will be disappointed, didn't make it count.
It's Gresko's cross, and away by Chris Perry. Tugay. Aim for Cole. Away by Fish. Gresko. Now Di Canio. Got away from Stuart initially, but he retrieves it well. So Hreidarsson. Now Klaus Jensen. Played by Todd.
Well, here's the chance, and we see the good run from Thompson as the ball's played in, but look at this little flick from Andy Coles. Know exactly where his teammate is. Gets in a good shot, but that's a great block. Very important. Not sure Dean Kiely would have saved that one.
Andy Cole, who's very much stereotyped as a taker and finisher of chances, but showed the other side of his game there with a setup.
Well, he's on 250, isn't he? If he scores tonight, it's his 250th goal, but he said in the tunnel beforehand he wasn't aware of that. I think he's lying, he's got them all written down somewhere.
He scored on his home debut for Blackburn Rovers against Charlton in a 4-1 victory. Can he make the milestone here against Charlton tonight? Here's Brett Emerton. Now Thompson. Got a deflection on its way through for the first corner of the match.
A good, positive start by Blackburn, really getting at Charlton in these early minutes.
Taylor's there. Andy Todd has come forward too. Delivered by Emerton, but doesn't clear the first man. Emerton here will get a second bite. Tugay, the disappointing cross. Di Canio, Stuart. Return for Di Canio did him few favours after the Italian's own good touch. Parker under pressure from Flitcroft. Here's Young. Perry. Well read by Tugay. This is Parker. It's the fourth season that these two teams have been together in the Premiership. Charlton have only ever beaten Blackburn in the Premiership once. That was at the Valley last November. Perry. Oh, got a bit lucky there, played it into the face of Thompson, who mustn't have known too much about it when it came off his hand.
We talked about Andy Cole being isolated at times, but David Thompson in particular is acting as the second striker a lot of the time. He's very close to Andy Cole to try and feed off that flick on.
Stuart. Now to Canio. Parker. Jensen. Fish. Perry. Here's Jansen. Stretch Blackburn by finding Johansson, but the flag up against Johansson.
You could see right across the line there, he's disappointed he got caught offside. He pulled away to the left wing, put himself in a good position. On a fluid forward line already, we've seen Canio wander all over. It's up to Johansson a lot of the time just to retain that presence up front if he can.
Parker tries to break it up. And Thompson just catches Luke Young.
Challenge with Thompson. I think he's fallen awkwardly there, his whole weight on his right ankle. No contact from Thompson, but that looks painful.
Yes, it was the twist and the manner of the fall that led to the urgency as they sent for treatment here for Luke Young.
Just got lodged in the turf as he just tried to spin away.
Alan Kirbishley and Keith Peacock have already had a series of injuries to deal with this season. They're already without Gary Rowett and Richard Rufus.
I think he's going to be okay. Run that one off.
Well, they do have a ready-made replacement in Hreidarsson Kishishev, but they wouldn't want to have to use him this early. So Young is back on. Cole. Barber just got caught in the face by Flitcroft, played on, and then got caught again by Stephen Reid.
It was quite a wild kick actually by Gary Flitcroft. Could have been very nasty indeed. Didn't seem to make any contact, but it was very close to his face. Parker was going away with the ball.
Even though Flitcroft was the offender for which the free kick was given, Graham Barber had a long word afterwards with Stephen Reid for the follow-up challenge, which occurred after the whistle had gone. Reid just beaten to the punch there by Hreidarsson, away by Ferguson. Cole. It's Young, still feeling the effects. He's just pulled away, hobbling again, and he doesn't look too comfortable with his movement at all at the moment, Young. And Kirbishley's come down alongside Mervyn Day. And he very nearly got caught again there by Barry Ferguson, did Luke Young. Last thing he wants at the moment is the ball, I think. Parker, Canio, Holland, Jensen. After a while to get his cross in. Graham Stuart was in there but couldn't get anywhere near it. And here's Emerton. Oh, Todd left that to Ferguson, and Johansson nipped in, and then Stuart pushed off the ball by Tugay. Carelessness at the back there for Blackburn.
Well, I think these are kind of lapses in concentration, lack of communication in many ways that Graham Souness has been complaining about. It's a simple ball, not a particularly good one by Emerton, I have to say, in towards the danger area, and he's put his side under pressure 30 yards out.
We saw Brad Friedel beaten by a 30-yard free kick from Michael Tarnat here earlier in the season. Klaus Jensen's a mean striker of a ball. Herman Hreidarsson and Matt Holland are there as well. It is Jansen, and it's too high.
Just got under that one.
Todd, a very relieved man, I would think.
I saw Charlton against Portsmouth last time out, and they really were miserable for the first 60 minutes or so, and I'm sure that's the last thing that Alan Kirbishley said to his side when he sent them out. Just make sure you start well, compete for the ball. And they've done that. They're creating too much so far.
Emerton. Here's Mark Fish. Flitcroft. Cole. Here's Parker. And this is Perry. Jansen just guarding it away from Taylor. Young. Tugay. Now Todd. This is Cole. Thompson has Gresko moving on ahead to his left. Ferguson, Tugay. Now Reid. Thompson coming in. Emerton. He's done brilliantly. Brett Emerton. Can he take it all the way? Oh, the last touch in the end just let him down.
Beautiful move by Blackburn. I don't know how many passes were involved before the cross came in, but Thompson, the smallest man on the pitch, gets there first, and Emerton's touch just betraying him at the end, trying to find room for a shot. Found it out initially, showing good feet in a tight space. Touch too heavy at the end, but very patient, accurate passing from Blackburn, and they just found the spare man on the right, Stephen Reid.
Jansen. Fish. Now Hreidarsson. Canio. And by Stuart. Gresko. Reid. There goes Emerton. Across to deal with it. Reid. Gary Flitcroft. This is Taylor. Forced back by Canio. Reid looks for Cole.
Good effort. Half a yard out, really. Powell could have got him into feet in a very dangerous area.
Luke Young, after that last clearance, may have played his last part in the game, because he winced visibly and he's still labouring with his movement. I'm not sure that Charlton can afford to take the risk for too much longer, especially with Thompson here bearing down. That could have been crucial then, because the man behind Perry was Luke Young, and he's held up his hand in acknowledgement that his game is over.
Yeah, they've got to make the change. Kishishev is ready to go on, and any attacks down that left-hand side for Blackburn. Young unable to defend, really, just hobbling through it. They just want to make sure that he definitely isn't okay to continue, and he is coming off.
Well, Herman Hreidarsson has put the ball out so that Radostine Kishishev can come on to take the place of the injured Luke Young. A fortunate injury, really, nothing to do with the challenge from Thompson, more to do with the impact of the fall and the way his right leg twisted as he fell.
Yeah, it did look a nasty twist, maybe ankle ligaments involved there, something that you just can't run off if you have tweaked them.
Number 19, Luke Young.
So Kishishev is on for Young as Charlton are forced into a substitution. And And we're making a change too. Change of subject of player cam. Paolo Di Canio, always worth watching. Kiely up against an old adversary in the Blackburn ranks today, a former Charlton player, Andy Todd, who left the Valley under a bit of a cloud after an alleged altercation with the Charlton goalkeeper. There's Todd. Ferguson. Cole. Broken up by Holland. Tugay. Ferguson. Blocked off by Hreidarsson. Barry Ferguson has had trouble settling into life in the Premiership, although his manager Graham Souness still has great belief that he'll make a real impact in this division. Ferguson hasn't been helped by personal problems and the fact that the house that he's planning to move into won't be ready until December.
There are all sorts of problems that the average supporter doesn't see when a player moves clubs. He is quality, Barry Ferguson.
Here's Cole. Tugay. Now Ferguson. Tugay. Taken away from him by Di Canio. By Barry Ferguson. Todd. Cole. Now Stuart. Kishishev. Tugay. It's been a different season really for the Blackburn defence. They kept a clean sheet so far in their 10 games this season. This is Cole. Feeding David Thompson. Ferguson looks to pick out Gary Flitcroft. Reid to Emerton. Break here to Gresko, it's away by Johansson. There's been some neat approach play so far from Blackburn Rovers.
Three-man midfield has actually worked very well. It's not always easy to revert to three men in the middle when you're used to playing just in a two, but Ferguson, Flitcroft, Tugay have sorted out who's where and who's doing what job, and at the moment they're having the upper hand and playing good balls into Andy Cole up there on his own. The service needs to be right, but the likes of Tugay have played good balls into feet to Andy, who has held it up, and allowed the likes of David Thompson to come round and support. Just need that finishing touch.
Stuart. Hreidarsson, Kishishev. Jensen. Scott Parker. Jansen was onside that time, but just too long for him.
They just haven't got going up front. It's difficult when you've got a strike partner in Di Canio that Jansen has, who you never quite know where he's going to be. They haven't got things going just yet. Plenty of approach play, but that Blackburn defence has been fairly comfortable up to now.
Charlton have never won at this ground in the Premiership so far. This is Parker. Taken away from him by Tugay. Great recovery though from Scott Parker. And to line one up for the Canio, Johansson might. Taken by Taylor. David Thompson. Todd. Tugay to Taylor. Ferguson. Here's Reid. Flashing cross, Flitcroft reached for it with his hand, and the officials spotted it.
We've had a couple of good runs by Stephen Reid down the right-hand side, and he has delivered good balls. And that time Gary Flitcroft making ground to get into the middle. It was a strong, powerful run of Reid, and it's a good end product at the end of it. Flitcroft just trying to lever himself up. The arm went up.
Gary Flitcroft trying to make the most of it, but it's 10 months since he scored a goal, an important goal as well, a winner against Manchester United. Blackburn finished last season very strongly to end up in 6th place in the table and to qualify for Europe. And really this season picked up where they left off last, although Emerton is one of the changes that Graham Souness has made in the wake of the loss of David Dunn and Damien Duff, who scored in this fixture back in April when Blackburn won 1-0 here. This is Kishishev, backed by Stuart. Mark Fish. Parker. Perry. Canio. Canio felt then that he should have had the throw in, but is it a sign of the new Canio that we haven't seen too much histrionics? I think he was best pleased by that decision, but not as flamboyant with his gestures as he once was. Away goes Reid, and it's Graham Stuart who's brought him down.
Totally accidental clip of heels as Stuart just tried to get back. And Barber recognised that. It wasn't in the penalty area. If it was, I wonder what decision he would have given just outside. Stuart immediately signalling that it was an accident.
And how costly could this free kick be? Taken by Ferguson. Oh, and Cole heads away from goal. He got in front of Perry. That was a great chance to notch up goal number 250.
It certainly was. He just got his body in front of Chris Perry here. You can see him jostling in the middle, gets his left arm across, and by his standards, that's a very good chance missed. There was a bit of pushing and shoving, jostling. He was strong, Cole. The header wasn't quite right.
Cole has scored 5 already this season. That was a big chance to add to that total.
When you look at it, he's got a great goal record, hasn't he? Playing at top flight football, more or less right through his career. 1 goal every 2 games. Fantastic record, and right through he's been criticised. I've never been able to understand it.
Thompson. Tugay. Gresko's cross. By Hreidarsson. That's Ferguson. Canio is having his say now.
Very rarely that he doesn't, but we haven't seen him doing what Charlton fans would like to see him, I think, up the other end, an influence.
Thompson. Here's Ferguson. Reid. Now Emerton looking to give Hreidarsson the slip. Bit of tugging going on between the two of them, but it was very much 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Well, very good defending by Hreidarsson, because Brett Emerton is a very strong player, good strong runner as well, but Hreidarsson did his job. Got his body back there, made sure he didn't commit a foul. Very bit a little bit shirt tugging. Hreidarsson keeps his balance. Good play.
Todd. Jensen. Now Gresko. Thompson. Ferguson and Reid coming in to close down Stuart. In the end, the ball to Flitcroft, left him making a late challenge on Scott Parker.
Got a tough job in there. Charlton's midfielders fired up. Blackburn producing some good football.
Reid meets the kick, and this is Parker. Reid again.
With your head up, with your head up! Do it.
Stuart. Todd. Now Tugay. Emerton. Barry Ferguson. Taylor. Here's Todd. Played over 50 games for Charlton in his time at the Valley.
They've got to be patient, Blackburn, because Charlton aren't coming out and committing themselves. Just letting them have them in areas like this where it's harmless. Charlton's back four, defending quite deep.
There's Thompson. Good supporting run by Gresko, looks to pull it across, but in the end pulls it too near the goalkeeper, and Emerton, Thompson and Cole were all waiting for the pull back.
Well, again, it was patient football, but it was football that had an end result, got to the byline, and a better ball by Gresko could have been very dangerous.
Emerton is penalised for the push on Holland. And a change of view for player cam. You can now track Barry Ferguson. Reid. Emerton. Parker. Stuart. This is Kishishev. Away by Todd, but only to Stuart. And Todd got the block.
Well, it was not the most effective defensive header by Todd. He was backtracking, couldn't get much on it. Well, to then close Graham Stuart down. And a few times Charlton have seen the whites of the goal and tried the look.
Canio's corner, and it's a Hreidarsson's header, and Charlton are in the lead. Slack defending from Blackburn, a free header for Hreidarsson.
Well, I don't think any of us saw that coming, did we? Hardly a shot on goal up to now, and it was a simple corner and a simple goal. Look at Hreidarsson make the dash, and it's Gary Flitcroft that can't keep up with him. He knows that he should have done a better job. Good positive run to the near post and a fantastic diving header by the full-back. David Thompson on the line. Does that go through his legs? He'll feel he should have cleared that. Good solid header. Thompson just couldn't get to it. A real kick in the teeth for Blackburn, who've been by far the better side in terms of possession and ideas.
Hreidarsson opening his account for Charlton with a goal that, from Blackburn's point of view, is a real bolt out of the blue. They have had a lot of good possession, the home team. They've made some effective movement with no end product, and now they find themselves trailing to that goal. And it's more defensive slackness that's let the Ewood Park team down.
Well, it's just a soft goal, isn't it, when you analyse it? It's just one man not marking. Decent ball in, admittedly, but a case of a Charlton player getting away, finding a yard of space, and he made that yard of space count.
Flitcroft hits it against Parker. Now to Canio, whose corner set up the goal. Away by Gresko. Canio. By Gresko.
Almost to a pin drop, couldn't you, when that goal went in? There aren't too many Charlton fans who have made the long trip north.
Just a couple of hundred, I believe. The hardy travellers from South London. They've been rewarded for their trip so far with that goal from Hreidarsson. Blackburn stunned. Can they provide a quick response here? Similar response to that which the Turkish team produced against them. They'd scored within a minute of Blackburn going ahead in the week. Now Blackburn have to try and cancel out this one.
Well, it looks not quite with them, is it, Blackburn, especially at home? And you can see there, he was just caught on his heels a little bit, Gary Flitcroft, and by the time Hreidarsson comes from deep, by the time he makes the run, it's too late for Flitcroft to get there and have any say in that challenge. But great finish, you have to be fair to him.
Parker had threaded that one through, but Johansson was offside. Gary Flitcroft, the man who lost his man. If you take the defensive frailties back even further, it was a poor header away from Andy Todd that put them under pressure from the corner in the first place. Todd's own block leading to that corner kick. Holland. Now Scott Parker. Stuart. Hreidarsson, who's given Charlton their lead. Graham Stuart. Now to Canio, makes the run. Hreidarsson. Gresko. Tugay. Flitcroft suddenly finding space. Thompson's done well to win it back. Tugay. Stephen Reid. Tugay again. Now Gresko. Cole wanted it played in early, Andy Cole. That's his night so far. Well, it's a busy week of Champions League football ahead, including an early start Tuesday, 5 o'clock for Lokomotiv against Inter, and Juventus against Real Sociedad later on Sky Sports 2. We've also got Lyon against Bayern Munich, plus 3 other matches for you on Tuesday on Sky Sports Extra. Then on Wednesday from 6 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, Rangers against Manchester United, the big one, but Chelsea also in action against Lazio, and we've 6 other matches for you on Sky Sports Extra.
Good quick feet from Andy Cole that produced that free kick, outwitting Chris Perry. But they have got to be patient now, Blackburn. They have shown that patience in this first half without reward. They're going to be a tough nut to crack. Charlton knows he's in front.
Well, Thompson didn't make anything of the last free kick. Reid and Ferguson are there to volunteer their services for this one. Concerned that Parker isn't the full 10 yards away. The referee doesn't seem interested in moving him. Lined up for Reid! Good save. He got down very well then, Dean Kiely.
Well, he certainly did, because he must have seen this quite late. You see the 2 lads, Parker and Holland, closing it down and just squirting in between those 2. Kiely very smart to his left.
Sharp reactions from the goalkeeper. Emerton's corner, Taylor climbs! Couldn't get it. Here's Canio. Great work from him. Ran into Tugay though. Gresko. Ferguson. This is Gresko. Todd. Tugay. And Cole's turned away from Perry. And goes for the hit. Wrong side of the post.
That was a decent strike, but in hindsight perhaps he's got Flitcroft, Emerton in the middle. Good skill to turn his man. From that distance it's got to be a very good shot to beat Dean Kiely. Just a little look up perhaps. Might have spotted a teammate.
Andy Cole's instinct is to go for goal, but with 2 headers and that 1 strike, he hasn't managed 1 on target yet.
Well, he's doing his job up front. He's playing very well, holding it up, being a constant threat up there on his own.
Slack play from Kishishev. Thompson took it away from him, and Perry gets the Bulgarian out of problems. Parker. Hreidarsson. It's Graham Stuart. And Johansson makes the run, although Taylor tracks it. Now Hreidarsson. Looking for Jensen, who adjusted his position well to get the header in. Ball came in a little behind him.
Just couldn't get the leverage on that. Made a good run into the box from midfield. Jensen. All of a sudden, Charlton look a lot more confident in possession going forward. A few gaps opening up.
Tugay. Now Ferguson. Away goes Gresko. Stuart. And Hreidarsson. Ferguson. Here's Reid. Thompson. Taylor. Blackburn with every right to feel a little flat at the moment. Graham Souness's team have played some good football, but they've been undone from a straightforward corner routine.
And they just swapped the formation about. David Thompson trying his luck on this right-hand side. Brett Emerton gone over to the left, up against Kishishev. Charlton in no hurry, as you would expect. Get through to half-time, they'll be well pleased to be a goal up.
Being made aware of the delay by the crowd and Fish to get on with it, and he eventually does. That's to Canio. Thompson, now Cole. Here's Barry Ferguson trying to set Emerton away, but Kishishev just has the edge. Now Tugay. Emerton. And Charlton making it difficult for Blackburn to play their way through. Stuart here pressing Reid. Thompson was being shadowed by Hreidarsson. They are a really hard-working, committed team, Charlton.
Well, they are. They've had some mixed form this season, but when they do get things together, and particularly if they're a goal up, they're a very disciplined team. Everybody knows the job.
They're looking for a third consecutive win, Charlton. They're already on their best run since February. They won 5 in a row then. This is Ferguson. Kishishev. Stuart. To Canio.
There'll be a minimum of 2 minutes.
2 minutes of stoppage time that's been added.
2 minutes.
And here's Hreidarsson looking for Johansson with a cross, and it was important that Gresko got there.
Oh, again, great play from the left back of Hreidarsson. Gresko did his job, knew that the player was behind him, took no chances. Johansson closing in.
Now will they do their job on Hreidarsson from the corner this time as he waits at the edge, having scored from a Canio corner previously. This time a different routine. It's Parker's cross, or was it a shot?
He just tried to help that one into the area. He was in acres of space, just made the move to the corner of the box. Everyone expecting that whipped cross in by Canio.
Helped on by Cole. Stuart. Now Cole. Away by Perry. Guiding header from Johansson. Now Klaus Jensen. Todd. Ferguson. Perry. Half-time, Blackburn trailing, Blackburn shell-shocked and jeered off. Hreidarsson's goal separates the two teams. A bad goal for Blackburn to concede. It was from a corner taken by Canio. Flitcroft lost his man. Hreidarsson got it in. But Blackburn have had their chances. 3 spurned by Andy Cole. 1 from Reid. Well saved by Kiely. At half-time, Blackburn 0, Charlton 1.
Former Blackburn Rovers keeper, he won the title with them. Tim Flowers is our guest this evening, and he's got some interesting things to say about that goal, particularly, and the first half in general. It was Hreidarsson's first goal for 2 years. Blackburn are losing at home again. Premiership football next weekend starts at midday on Saturday on Sky Sports 2 from the Premiership from the Reebok Stadium. It's Bolton against Birmingham. And then the following day on Sunday, 2 matches. Charlton again, this time at the Valley against Arsenal, who are top of the table. Only side unbeaten in the Premiership. That's on Premiership Plus from 1:30. And then the football on Super Sunday, 3 o'clock from White Hart Lane is Tottenham against Middlesbrough, and that's on Sky Sports 1. Here on Sky Sports 1 tonight, it's Monday Night Football. Charlton lead 1-0 at Blackburn. Hreidarsson with the goal, a header from a Canio corner. And Blackburn once again at home losing, but once again having more of a play. And that Tim Flowers, who's our guest this evening, has really been the story of their season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has a little bit. It certainly was against the run of play. I mean, it's really the only chance that Charlton have created at all. Whereas Blackburn have had sort of 4 or 5 decent, sort of even better than half chances, really. But again, as you say, 1-0 down at the minute.
Right, well, we've been studying the goal in great detail, and Tim's got some interesting things to say because he's going to explain zonal marking, I think, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to have a go. No, it's not. What Blackburn are doing here, they're not marking in completely zonally. There'll be about 4 or 5 players marking what we call areas, if you like. So there's obviously the back post zone being marked there. The man who's on the goalkeeper will be marked on the outside shoulder. And then if a Charlton player has gone into the near post zone, which this fella has here, they'll have 1 in front and 1 behind.
Right, so you've got a mixture here. You've got zonal markers who aren't actually marking bodies,
marking
but
space.
Areas. But you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marking man for man.
Absolutely. Well, this fella here who's obviously going to stand on Brad Friedel, you'll then always have a defender on his outside shoulder. Then what you do before the game, generally a lot of clubs would allot certain players to pick up opposition players going height for height, if you like. So if their biggest man 6'3", you'd put your biggest man on him.
But for all that, the basic problem here is that Flitcroft, smaller obviously than Hreidarsson, hasn't covered his run. Yeah,
I mean, if we look at, there is another angle there, which is a good angle to see it from. Hreidarsson's actually started his, here we go, look, he starts his run there and he gets a run on Gary there, on Gary Flitcroft, and he's a good 2 yards in front of him, and bang. You know, I mean, the Premier League teams practice attacking and defending set plays almost on a daily basis, so you're delighted if you score from one and devastated if you concede.
And you were also making the point when we were chatting about it in the break that you felt that there was one point there where Holland, I think it was backing into his defender, and that makes more space for Hreidarsson's run.
Absolutely, well it will do, yeah. I can't actually remember who's actually marking Holland. It might be Toddy, I'm not too sure, but it's a good delivery first and foremost from Canio, even though he slips, look.
This is Holland here,
and he's actually, the other angle's a better view because he's actually got his arms out and he's backing into him. But hey, that's all part of the game. I mean, that's not a foul.
Well, they didn't complain,
No,
did they?
no, it's not a... And Tomo's unlucky, actually. He's done well on the back stick there. He's come in and had a go, but the ball's past him before he can react, really. But that's the crux of it.
There he is, backing in.
Yeah, he is, look. And the guy's got his arm round him, so that's 50-50.
Right.
But basically, Hreidarsson's lost his marker and job done.
Charlton have their goalkeeper, Dean Kiely, to thank with a great save from a free kick, and he was blind from this as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. It was similar to the one we saw from the Arsenal, where someone's gone and stood in the wall there. But both Charlton players have come out as they should and attacked to block the ball, the 2 charges, as we like to call them. But the ball's then unsighted Dean Kiely and has drifted away from him there with the outswing, and he's done tremendously well to turn that round, yeah.
OK, well, we're still obviously waiting for Andy Cole's 250th goal. Charlton are winning 1-0 at Blackburn, and these posters, by the way, have been done by local children in Blackburn. You see a lot of people been wearing the green badges, the kick racism out of football badges, and they've joined in wholeheartedly with the campaign. They'd rather, certainly these fans, be joining in with a victory, I should suspect. They've already lost 3 times at home this season. They don't want to make it a 4th. There's the music. There's more UEFA Champions League action coming up this week on Tuesday in Arsenal's group from 5. It's Lokomotiv against Inter, 5 o'clock, followed by Juventus against Real Sociedad. That's on Sky Sports 2. Lyon against Bayern Munich on Sky Sports Extra, plus 3 further matches via our digital interactive service. Then on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, everything. It's Rangers against Manchester United on Sky Sports 2. Chelsea against Lazio on Sky Sports Extra, plus all 6 other matches on Wednesday via our digital interactive service, including, of course, David Beckham's Real Madrid against Partizan Belgrade. Half-time on Monday Night Football. In the Premiership, it's Blackburn Rovers 0, Charlton Athletic 1. Hreidarsson with the headed goal in the first half from a corner. Tim Flowers is with us. He's been watching very quickly. Is it time to change that formation and get some support for Andy Cole?
No, I'd leave it. I'd certainly leave it. They've created 4 or 5 chances. It's not a negative system. They've played it quite well, to be honest. But if they create another 4 or 5 this half, mind you, they're going to change it by the looks of it. But you said we go there. Or what? What are you doing? He could play anywhere, this fella.
Let the commentators tell us exactly what's happening. What is happening, Alan Smith and Rob Hawthorne?
Well, we reckon they are going to change their formation because they're bringing on a striker. They're sacrificing a midfielder, Gary Flitcroft. And Matt Jansen, who's coming on, is celebrating his 26th birthday today. So as Blackburn prepare to get us restarted for the second half, can he celebrate his birthday with a goal? And can Blackburn get back on terms to stop the rot here? They've lost their last 3 home matches, remember. Already on their worst home run in almost 2 years. 2 guys taken over the captain's armband from the substituted Flitcroft, incidentally. And here's Parker, who's taken it away from Taylor. Lively start to the second half from Parker of Charlton. Here's Graham Stuart. Looks for Canio. Ever the showman. Looks for Johansson. Just beyond his reach.
Dangerous moment for Blackburn, opening seconds. First time Canio really has found himself with the ball at his feet in the penalty area, and so dangerous when he's in that kind of position, pulling away to the left. Stephen Reid getting completely outwitted by this little shimmy. A decent floated cross, just too high. But we were just wondering, seeing Matt Jansen warming up at half-time, who he was going to come on for. It's probably a tough call.
Here's Jansen. And now Brett Emerton. Jansen was there, but it was taken away from him. Perry got in ahead.
An absolutely vital touch by Perry, getting some backslaps from his teammate, because Matt Jansen's first touch could easily have been a goal there.
Crucial touch from the Charlton defender. Emerton and Thompson over the corner here. Ferguson lines it up for Stephen Reid, who hits it on the outside of his boot, and it's well wide.
I was just saying, I thought that 3-man midfield did work actually quite well for Blackburn, and created some openings in the first half, and all 3 played quite well. Souness maybe just thinking long and hard exactly who to pull off, felt that Andy Cole needed somebody a little more advanced alongside him. But once Charlton did go a goal up, you could see that they did start struggling a little bit, Blackburn, to open up the opponents.
Scott Parker is now the subject of player cam. Sky Digital viewers, just press the red button on your remote to follow him. Here's Kishishev. Now Holland. This is Parker. And Klaus Jensen. Felt it had come off Scott Parker last. Canio's come a long way to collect Matt Holland's throw. Now Hreidarsson. Graham Stuart. By Gresko. Despite the climb of fish. Free kick though given against Emerton, who was snapping away at Canio.
He was a little bit unlucky because Canio had fallen over on the ball, wasn't he? And he was just chipping away trying to pick it out for Emerton.
Crowd have been enlivened by the vibrant start to the second half from Blackburn, even though they find themselves on the back foot now from Fish's free kick.
Been a real threat up that left-hand side of Hreidarsson. He's pulled away and they've aimed for him quite a bit off long free kicks, not having a real aerial presence through the middle. Charlton. bombed on and been a threat apart from his goal.
Stuart. Johansson's offside. Here's Tugay. Thompson. Played into Jansen, well anticipated there by Fish. Now Johansson. Ball from Stuart, this is Canio. Parker. Kishishev. Holland. Away by Taylor. Hreidarsson, Kishishev! Wonderful attempt, just wide.
Well, I'm sure Graham Souness won't be too happy with that, because Charlton's right back has just fed off the second ball and he's totally on his own. Nobody's followed him, and he's got a free shot on goal, and that wasn't too far away, was it? Good effort by the right back. Just a second ball as Johansson's challenged for it. It's popped down and he's gambled to get onto that knockdown, but not one Blackburn player followed him.
Controlled by Tugay. Now Reid. Cole. Ferguson finds Gresko. Tugay, Emerton. It's Todd. Fish steps in. On by Canio to Johansson. This is Stuart. Canio up against Stephen Reid. Support here from Jensen. Canio! And he's starting to exert his influence more in the second half.
Well, he is, and Blackburn are inviting trouble if they're going to allow him to settle on the ball and just weave his spell in front of their penalty area.
He roamed all over the pitch in the first 45 minutes. He's adopted a more settled rollout on the left so far in the second half. It's Tugay. Jansen just got a touch and Perry got a touch on him. Kiely's already had to make one good stop from a free kick. Ferguson was lining up an attempt there, but it was blocked. Good touch from Emerton. Now Cole. Emerton again.
Again, appealing for handball on Matt Holland. Don't think it was, but it's beautiful play by Brett Emerton. Having the awareness, knew exactly where Andy Cole was, went for the return.
Here's Jansen. David Thompson. Emerton free on the far side, calling for it. And although it was played in his direction, it was well behind the Australian, who in trying to make the recovery tackle catches Jansen late and is going to become the first player to be cautioned. Frustration really more than anything else on Emerton's part. He was in a great position calling for it.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that his teammate had just played a loose ball. I think it was actually meant for Tugay more than anything, but it's a slack challenge, a sloppy one, and I don't think he can complain about the yellow card as Jensen just tried to help it up the line.
Ferguson. Jansen. Cole. And for Thompson, met by Kishishev. Tugay. Todd. He started to venture forward more regularly in the second half.
There's a little 15-yard pass across his own back line, Andy Todd, and Martin Taylor's miscontrols, presenting possession.
One or two occasions where Blackburn have tried to play a little too cleverly out from the back. Charlton keeping up the pressure, but the ball from Stuart, not the one required by Hreidarsson. Away by Reid. Jansen just unable to keep it in. Started to surface in the first half of the ring, but Charlton were delaying their taking of throw-ins and free kicks. They're showing no desire to rush again here. Holland, good duel with Barry Ferguson, goes against the Charlton skipper.
Those two have worked really well, Matt Holland and Scott Parker, in some little ferries together, never giving anybody time on the ball, worked very well as a pair.
Gresko hadn't anticipated that ball from Tugay. This is Taylor. Jansen out jumps Fish. This is Thompson. Where to keep that? This is Gresko. Emerton. Reid. Ferguson away by Parker.
Space down his right hand side, Stephen Reid, fancying to knock it up that way and use his pace, whip it in from a better angle. Instead trying to play a 1-2, but he has been effective as a full-back bombing on. It's the same way as Hreidarsson has for Charlton.
Kishishev marshals that to safety. Following a similar pattern this second half in the Blackburn, again enjoying a lot of possession.
They've had the possession, maybe as opposed to the first 15-20 minutes of the first half, haven't been able to get behind Charlton quite so effectively, and that'll be a worry for Graham Souness. They've got the extra man up front, but it's like changing formation. Hasn't worked up to now.
Canio. This is Klaus Jensen. On to Canio again. Johansson waits in the middle. Pull back for Stuart. And Barry Ferguson attended to his defensive duties well then.
He needed to, because Stuart just attempting to knock it past Ferguson, and he would have had plenty of time to get his shot in. Again, Canio finding space. Nobody tracked him.
Stuart's cross. Holland had slipped anyway before Gresko's header cleared. This is Tugay. Jansen. Laid into the path of Thompson. Emerton's made a good run covering the width of the pitch. All the options to Thompson's left. This is Ferguson.
There's so much space over on the right hand side. Stephen Reid couldn't make the ground up, and that's where Blackburn do fall down sometimes, in that they haven't got natural wide men anymore without Damien Duff. The pitch becomes that little bit narrower, and the onus is on the full-backs to provide the width, which they can't always do.
Now Johansson could be through, but Taylor got back in the nick of time. Emerton breaks away from him to Parker. Tugay. Thompson's header back to Brett Emerton. This is Ferguson. Now Reid will get forward to Tugay's right, but he slides it through to Cole instead, who does bring Reid into play. Emerton. Tugay. Cole. Andy Cole finds space for himself. Reid's ball in, stabbed away to Tugay, and it's blocked.
I think he dragged it wide anyway, just cannoned into Matt Jansen, but Charlton playing a dangerous game there. The Blackburn players, the likes of Tugay, settled on it 35 yards out or so, and Charlton let them have it, and in the end Andy Cole was able to get a ball into feet and they worked it from there.
Blackburn stepping it up again with Reid. Brett Emerton's cross. Kishishev away, only to Ferguson. Now Thompson. Away by Perry.
Now Kishishev's apologising, it was a really weak header away. And his team's straight in trouble again.
Blackburn starting to ask a few more searching questions now of the Charlton backline. Reid. This is Andy Cole. Tries to play in Matt Jansen. He makes the tackle on Kishishev.
So lucky. Again, a lovely touch return from Andy Cole, aware of his man. Overlapping.
The crowd are more heartened by what they've seen. Good to see the drummer here. And Matt Jansen now becomes the subject of player cam. Sky Digital viewers, just press the red button on your remote. Again, the seconds tick by as Kiely is very precise about the placing of the ball for the free kick.
Two guys having a word with Graham Barber complaining about it. I think Graham Barber is going to add those seconds, minutes on.
Here's Hreidarsson. Tugay. Given away to Parker. Stuart. Canio. Away goes Jansen with Ferguson tracking back. Good support here from Graham Stuart. Good header away by Andy Todd. Holland. Now Parker. It's a good run. Gets his shot away, which Friedel pushes away. Blackburn survive.
This game's opening up now as Charlton push forward for the equaliser. Charlton looking dangerous on the counter. A lot of their good work coming down the left-hand side. Whether it's Hreidarsson or Canio, Graham Stuart.
Here's Canio. Now Hreidarsson as Canio takes up a position in the middle. Pull back for Stuart. Jensen. Hreidarsson again. Canio comes out of the area to get involved. Away by Taylor. Now Cole. And this is Thompson. Jansen up ahead of him if he gets the timing of his run right. Parker comes back to try and hold Thompson off. Cole. Gresko. And away to Jansen as Charlton now look to stretch Blackburn, and Taylor was forced to ground by Johansson.
Well, that was an unfortunate one for Blackburn because David Thompson was looking for Matt Jansen, and Jansen pulled away and then he made a dashing run inside. Nobody to pass it to in the end, Thompson.
Here's David Thompson. It's a shot away, but over the top.
Look for the moment when he was running through Scott Parker. Scott Parker running back with him. Seemed to just tug on his shirt. Just spoiling his momentum. An opportunity goes to waste.
Thompson at least prepared to have a go. Some of his colleagues have shied away from shooting in that area and looked for the pass instead. Blackburn have still managed the majority of the attempts. but one of Charlton's 2 on target was Hreidarsson's goal. Taylor. Away by Ferguson to David Thompson. Here's Cole. Gets away from Thompson this time, and Hreidarsson stays in control. Here's Taylor. Ferguson. Now Thompson. Emerton. Tugay. Gresko's cross. Oh, and a looping header and a wonderful save. Kiely again comes to Charlton's aid.
Well, they looked for the time in, and it was just curling into that far corner. Thompson didn't have to beat his man. It was a good ball, and he was front. Got up very well. Okay, that's just going wide, but Dean Kiely didn't know that. Fingertip save.
Away by Fish. Here's Tugay. Now Taylor with men to pull it across to. Cole goes in near post. Kiely comes out, gets enough of a touch on it. But did Cole get a piece of the goalkeeper as well? He's hurt.
Well, Andy Cole had to go for this ball when Martin Taylor squared it. Good opening, gets to the byline, and Cole just trying to get in front of Dean Kiely. Kiely did ever so well, did his job, but it hurt. Andy Cole following through.
Cole committed, and you can't criticise him for the challenge. You can't criticise Kiely either, even though some of the Blackburn fans might suspect him a bit more time wasting.
Well, he's made some important interceptions tonight, some important saves. Think back to that free kick in the first half when he went down very sharply to his left, and that was a different type of save, but just as important, involving plenty of bravery at the feet of Andy Cole. He's getting a little bit closer to his 250th goal. He's not done a lot wrong tonight. He's contributing in a lot of ways, done his job for the team. Worked hard, held the ball up. Had that headed chance in the first half, not too many others.
Well, there'll be no need for Simon Royce to be pressed into service. The first choice goalkeeper is able to carry on.
I always look a little bit worried, substitute goalkeepers. They're never prepared to come on, are they, when they're on the bench?
Tugay just checking with the referee about his timekeeping and whether he is adding on further time for the delay.
Tugay wants me on Barber's watch. He's had a few words now.
Perry.
A little bit harsh, getting booed, Dean Kiely.
Parker. Jensen. Canio. May soon have a new strike partner. Jason Euell ready for action. A change about to happen now. Jason Euell, who was sent off in his last Premiership appearance against Manchester United, then had that fallout with Alan Kirbishley, then got injured, but made a good comeback in the reserves, and now returns to first team action. Euell and Johansson taken off.
I don't think that's a big surprise. Johansson's worked hard without ever really being a threat through the middle. Just Jason Euell's fresh legs, his more powerful style of running. Canio's done well, so not surprisingly he stays on the pitch.
Here's Tugay for Blackburn. Thompson tries to turn on it. In comes Gresko. Tugay Cole. And Cole again presses. Brave goalkeeping from Kiely. Certainly wasn't about to shirk despite his previous coming together with Andy Cole.
Yeah, Andy Cole thought about putting his foot there, but didn't quite get there in time.
Reid. Now Todd. Taylor. This is Stuart. Tugay. Ferguson. Gresko to Cole. And again,
so much of Blackburn's approach plays coming through the middle into the body of yellow shirts, and Charlton's strength, and Andy Cole often getting outnumbered in there. Need to try and vary a little bit, Blackburn, and try and get down those flanks through the channels.
Canio tried to be too clever there with a back heel that came back off his other foot. And now Blackburn are breaking. Cole obstructed. And here's Ferguson. Taylor, Tugay. Taylor again. Lined up for Emerton.
Emerton isn't a winger, but just if he pulled away 10 yards, 15 yards, I just think it would make Charlton think a little bit more. He's just tucked in alongside his central midfielders, and it's making it very narrow for Blackburn.
Another busy week of Champions League football ahead, including an early start Tuesday from 5 o'clock on Sky Sports 2 for Lokomotiv against Inter, and later Juventus against Real Sociedad, with Lyon against Bayern Munich and 3 other matches on Sky Sports Extra. And then you won't want to miss Wednesday, the one they're all talking about, Rangers against Manchester United, Sky Sports 2. Our coverage starts at 6 o'clock, and on Sky Sports Extra we've Chelsea in action against Lazio, plus 6 other matches. In different parts of their career, Andy Cole and Barry Ferguson would have been lining up on opposite sides in that Manchester United Rangers match. A little bit that's added to Ferguson's homesickness, the fact that he's deprived of the opportunity of playing in that high-profile fixture.
Andy Cole was telling me he's been on his button and flicking through the different matches, and he doesn't know which one to watch first, but I think he will be on Wednesday tuning into one particular match.
Here's Euell. Parker. Stuart. Now Klaus Jansen.
Canio didn't quite have the legs to make the run that Klaus Jansen wanted him to make. He was quite tired now, Canio.
Kishishev. Now Euell. Here's Holland. Euell to Canio. Klaus Jansen, there's a man over to the left with it was Stuart. And here's Ferguson. Now Jansen. Cole is ambling forward from the back. He's made a very late bid to get there, but this is Reid. Cole is in there now. Emerton. He's lost his footing. Canio takes over. Knocked out of his stride by Brett Emerton, who was booked earlier.
Took a knock off Emerton and found some energy to make that run. It really has been a constant threat up that left hand side with his invention and his touches. He's enjoyed this second half, but he seems to be breathing a bit now.
He's yet to complete a full 90 minutes in the Premiership for Charlton. Paolo Di Canio, as he finds full match fitness since he's moved from Upton Park. Flick on, Euell's offside. Taylor, Andy Todd. Free kick given against Parker, and Tugay gets on with it. This is Matt Jansen, given away to Cole. Tugay to Ferguson.
Again, there was nothing that right hand side was that Emerton had tucked into the position he's in now. He's just stopping them in the tracks at times, Blackburn.
Here's Emerton. Ferguson to Gresko. Oh, that really does add to the frustration at Ewood Park.
Well, ambitious to say the least, wasn't it, when he had options to his left, David Thompson, Brett Emerton, Andy Cole in the penalty area. Not too impressed.
Bratislav Gresko is the only outfield player to have started every game so far for Graham Souness this season.
I think Dino Baggio is going to come on. Graham Souness has just given the call.
Blackburn still looking for that extra spark that will help them to stop the losing run here at home. They're heading at the moment for their 4th straight defeat at Ewood Park in the Premiership. Here's Kishishev. Player cam swings back on to Andy Cole now as he is in pursuit of that 250th goal of his club career in the last quarter of an hour. If he does it, he will have managed it in just under 500 club appearances. The referee's reaching for his book here for David Thompson, and it's a crucial booking as well because it will rule Thompson out of the forthcoming match against Everton. It's his 5th quarter of the season.
Well, David Thompson hasn't got any complaints. He knows that. He was late on Scott Parker. Todd is creeping in, and he was high as well, wasn't he?
Substitution number 3.
Well, Bratislav Gresko's weak attempt to get Blackburn back in the game proves his last significant act, and Dino Baggio, World Cup finalist with Italy almost 10 years ago, comes on for the last 12 minutes or so here. Here's Di Canio. Holland. Canio lets it run to Jansen. Canio couldn't keep it in.
He's still going, isn't he, to Canio? I think this will do a lot for his fitness levels after not playing 90 minutes before now.
Here's Jansen. Now Thompson. Baggio. Emerton's cross. Ferguson didn't know too much about it. Deflects it behind for the corner. Big man Taylor forward from the back. Glanced away only to Thompson. Then by Euell. Straight back out to Brett Emerton here. Challenged by Stuart. And now to Canio. Reid. Parker. Jensen. Will made a run to get in front of Reid. Stuart. Joined now by Canio. Parker. And here's Hreidarsson. Canio, Jensen. Canio!
They really are making Blackburn work as both sets of players tire, and they've kept the ball very well here, Charlton, and again Canio instrumental in the move and drifting inside and be tired, and it's just causing him to lean back and lift it over the bar. Blackburn have just sacrificed a defender, gone to 3 at the back with Baggio into midfield.
Well, they're going to throw another front man on now. Brett Emerton is coming off, and 19-year-old striker Paul Gallagher is coming on to take his place. Gallagher, a Scottish under-21 international who's come through the ranks here. This is Euell. Tugay challenging with Jansen, but it breaks here for Scott Parker. And frees to Canio.
He's just pulling away into that position that Gresko have occupied as more and more gaps open up now for Charlton. You fancy them the way they are, springing forward on the counter to perhaps get a second goal.
Canio's corner, through to Matt Holland. Here's Cole. Tugay. Holland pulled back by Tugay.
Yeah, Tugay didn't have the legs to get to the ball, and he just edged into Holland's path.
Canio. Here's Parker. And he was onside then, Jason Euell. Had the ball been right, Charlton could have been on for a second. Thompson. Euell backing into Todd. Foul by Canio and Reid in the referee's judgment. That was Baggio, now Gallagher. Cole. Jensen. Canio looks first time for Euell. Cut out though by Todd. Here's Tugay. It's a poor ball. Graham Stuart. Baggio. Well, is it going to be another in this depressing home run for Blackburn Rovers? Started off with the 5-1 victory over Wolves here. But since then it's been downhill all the way, and this could be their 4th consecutive Premiership defeat at home. There have been more defeats than they suffered here in the whole of last season. Frustration from the crowd is evident. They made their feelings plain at half-time, and now as Todd gives the ball away, this could be costly. It's Euell. Shows too much of it to Tugay.
Made a great run on the outside. Euell trying to take it in. Could have kept possession, and who knows, might be costly.
Ferguson. Jansen. Ferguson again. Gallagher's cross. Baggio! Nearly.
Charlton would have only had themselves to blame if they had conceded, because they could have kept it in the final third, and that's a lovely ball across the face of the box. Baggio waving his right foot at it, and that's not far away, is it? Kiely scrambling across. A bit tentative, Baggio. Maybe would have been better served planting the side of his left foot on it, but too far away.
Here's Todd. Now Cole. This is Gallagher. Fall to his left. Kishishev away. They're really going for it now, Blackburn, but Stuart here looks to break. Canio. Long for Holland. Gives them too much work to do, and Taylor easily there ahead of it.
Paul Gallagher's made a difference for Blackburn on that right-hand side. Give them a little bit of width, and okay, the game's opened up, but the crosses, and Blackburn would have been better served if they could have presented that width a bit earlier, I think.
Well, Blackburn's worst home run in nearly 2 years, set to be extended. They lost 4 in a row then, a run that ended incidentally with a victory against Charlton. It's going to take a late comeback to turn it around now, and Charlton, just to bolster their defence, are taking off Powell, Canio, and bringing on Jonathan Fortune.
Substitution for Charlton, number 11, Canio.
So Canio still hasn't completed 90 minutes, but nearly tonight.
Well, the old legs aren't quite what they used to be, but he's had a very good game tonight, Canio. Second half particularly, kept working, a lot of joy on the left-hand side. The tricks are still there.
Cole struggling with Perry now. Is there a pull there from the defender? That's what the crowd are appealing for, but Barber unconvinced by those appeals.
He's had a tough night, Andy Cole. How many times have we seen him doing this, backing in, battling, just trying to hold it up? Chris Perry stayed very tight.
On by Parker. Here's Jensen. Holland trying to line it up for Euell. Nice idea. Just failed with the execution. Reid. Now Tugay. Cole to Taylor. Kishishev with a throw. He's going to run the throw.
Really good battle. It's a really tight battle, and Blackburn will feel very hard done by if they do lose it.
Here's Gallagher. Cole challenges, lifts it
Thompson is telling him there that he was in a better position to head it, but in those circumstances you don't hear the shout. If there is one, you see the ball coming across and you go for it. In the end, it was a little bit too high. Again, Paul Gallagher having a great effect up that left-hand side. You can see Thompson just behind Andy Cole. Whether the shout was there, I don't know, but Thompson absolutely frustrated that that ball didn't come as far as him.
One of those nights for Andy Cole so far, one of those nights for Blackburn. Reid. Away by Mark Fish. Well, there's a side that might give Blackburn a bit of a lift. 4 minutes in which to conjure an equaliser.
4 minutes of additional time.
They're being urged to press on again here. It's just beyond Baggio's reach.
Barber obviously did stop his watch a couple of times when Charlton were delaying taking a couple of set pieces. Gives Blackburn a glimmer of hope.
Reid. Tugay. On by Taylor, who stayed in the attack. This is Cole. Thompson. Now Ferguson. Looking for Baggio. Taylor still up there. Reined in by Holland. But Cole has not only given away a free kick, he's going to be booked as well for the challenge on Holland.
Well, I don't think there was too much in that. It was a centre forward scrambling across. He's trying to do his job and stop the clearance. He was late, but only a fraction of a second. Oh, he's firmly on the ball and catching Holland as he's cleared it and his legs followed through. Holland, for me, has done very well up that right-hand side, though, playing slightly out of position.
3 bookings tonight, all for Blackburn players. Here's Jansen. Todd holds him off. Todd is now urged forward. Friedel has come out to take the free kick. Route 1 stuff now for Blackburn. And it might pay off for them. Thompson gets in there and goes down looking straight at the referee. I think he made his intentions a little too obvious then. Crushed by Todd.
It was a clean tackle, wasn't it? No hint of a penalty for me.
Here's Tugay. Jensen gets it away to Stuart. Now Jansen. And Thompson still shaking his head over this challenge.
Well, he's gone down quite theatrically, but I think Fortune has got enough of the ball there to escape the penalty being given. His first challenge, it just crept through his legs, but he did get some of the ball.
On by Taylor, who's had a useful role late on, winning those long balls in the air. Anyway, we'll do at the moment for Hreidarsson, Kishishev as Charlton look to run out the final few seconds that remain. They've only won once in 21 years here in the league prior to this, but they're heading for an important victory now. No nonsense clearance that from Perry. We're at the 4 minutes of stoppage time. And the rot continues for Blackburn Rovers. 4 successive Premiership defeats here at Ewood Park. as Graham Souness looks to try and arrest the decline. But that's 3 wins in a row now for Charlton, who are very definitely heading in the right direction. Headed in the right direction today by Hreidarsson with his header from a Powell Di Canio corner in the first half. A goal that in the end proved enough despite Blackburn's pressing in the second half. And in the end, Alan, do you think the home team were unlucky?
I think they were very unlucky, and they seem to be on a run of bad luck. They didn't do too much wrong today, and it was a very close contest in the end, decided by a slack piece of marking, which has typified their season so far. And you know, defensive mistakes continue, although I think they shored it up. They were solid for most of the match, but the luck's just not going with them at the moment.
Charlton up 3 places then as a result of this win. It finished Blackburn 0, Charlton 1.
Yes, as Rob said, Charlton now up to 7th, and that's a rare win for them. 7-2, those were the odds on Charlton winning at Blackburn tonight. Tim Flowers is with us. His old club is struggling. Canio has helped Charlton into a wonderful position. Blackburn, though, their 4th home defeat at Ewood Park this season. Coming up, all the reaction, including the always memorable fan zone commentary.
This is a team spirit, big heart.
Could that be the secret? Their 3rd successive win, their first ever top division win at Ewood Park. For Blackburn, though, their 5th defeat in their last 7 at home, their 4th defeat at home this season, and they only lost 3 at home throughout last season. Charlton are up to 7th, and as we mentioned before, you could have got odds of 7-2 on them winning tonight. Congratulations if you were on that. So, what do we make of these statistics tonight? Well, just the 1 goal, Hreidarsson for Charlton in the first half. Blackburn, though, well, with most of the action. And this is certainly exemplified by the possession. Look at that. Once again, Blackburn having the ball more often than their opponents, but losing. Let's hear a little bit more from Powell Di Canio. He's with Claire Tomlinson and the man of the match.
Matt, was all your good work nearly undone in that last 5 minutes? Dino Baggio seemed to go very close.
Well, they certainly put us under a lot of pressure in the last 10 or 15 minutes, but the character of the side tonight was absolutely terrific. From the first whistle, we really got at them, put them under pressure, and we're also delighted with that result tonight.
Did you think Herman's goal came a little bit against the run of play?
Maybe, but certainly we were very solid tonight. We were difficult to beat, which was a good thing, and Herman made a terrific run into the box and scored a good goal for us.
A start for you, Paolo, nearly made the whole game. How did you feel it went?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy because we won this game. At the end of the game, I think we deserve it because we chased the ball around the pitch for the whole game. We create a few chances, and this is what it means, team spirit. So I'm very happy because the team played very well. I'm very happy also for the few fans that follow us very far from London. So tonight is a great night for us.
Do you have any sympathy at all for Blackburn? Do you feel they were unlucky not to get anything?
No, you know, there are Blackburn, they are not in a very good moment. I hope they can come back soon and at them level. But tonight, of course, I'm happy for my team.
In the midfield, how hard was it in the first half playing against their 5?
Yeah, well, we obviously switched our system to match that up after about 25 minutes, and I think when we matched them up, we did a lot better.
3 wins in a row now, up to 7th in the table. It's really coming together?
Yeah, well, we're not going to get carried away, but certainly we're very pleased with the form at the moment, and 3 wins is terrific form, and we've got Arsenal on Sunday, so we're looking forward to that one now.
What do you think about Arsenal Sunday?
It will be a very tough game. In Premiership, every game is a tough, especially London Derby against Arsenal. They are top of the league, you know. So, but in that position, we can play without pressure. I think we can take something out for that game. I'm very happy.
Well, could you ask you to do one more thing? Matt is the Baggio man of the match. Paolo, do the honours.
Congratulations.
Cheers, Paolo. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Well done, lads.
We said the foreigners don't improve our game. So then, Blackburn Rovers, they have all the possession again, they still can't win. Charlton, who every year people tip, this is finally the year when they won't stay in the Premiership, are doing it again.
They are,
Assess that game for us.
Well, Charlton are the standard bearers for clubs like Leicester, Bolton, Wolves, if you like, the lads who have come up, because they've set their stall out and they're doing it right. You know, they were hard to beat tonight, although, you know, from Blackburn's point of view, they can't buy a bit of luck. You know, they've had 3 or 4 chances first half, as you pointed out, 20% more possession for the whole of the match. Chances again in the second half, ball bouncing around the 18-yard box, and nothing will drop to a striker. But it will turn, it will turn. Believe me, Blackburn are a quality side. And
so if you were Graham Souness, or maybe you were a supporter of Blackburn, you wouldn't be too disheartened at the moment?
Not really. There's 1 or 2 injuries to come back. I personally believe that the luck will turn for Blackburn. They are a good side. They've got excellent players. And there's 1 or 2, as we said at the top of the programme, trying to fit into a new side and probably a new system, but it will turn.
Let's talk to the victorious manager, Alan Kirbishley. 3 successive wins. Congratulations, Alan.
Thank you.
Very well-deserved victory tonight, in your opinion?
Well, I felt that we was going to pay the price for not getting the second goal. You know, we broke on them so well in the second half, and we either elected to perhaps be a bit selfish or not pick the right pass out. And you know, I thought we was going to pay the price, but you know, obviously Dino made a couple of great saves that made sure we got the result. I think it was a deserved victory. You know, we got our noses in front, and I think Blackburn found it very hard to break us down.
Matt Holland was saying in his interview just now that once you matched them in midfield, you felt you were, as it were, a match for them generally.
Well, we felt when the team sheet came in, that was how they was going to play. Obviously, Cole up on his own, you know, 4-3-3 if you like, and I just felt if we could do that, then we'll get a bit of joy from it. But you know, Blackburn are a really good side. I know they've had a bad time here, but you know, we'll take that result. That's a fantastic result for us tonight.
Obviously, the confidence is really flowing through your players at the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, it started with, you know, a last-minute goal against Luton in the League Cup, where we was going out, and we managed to get back in it and win by penalties, and you know, we've now managed to get 3 wins on the spin. We've only got Arsenal coming up the weekend, so you know, and we have, you know, I know everyone's talking about injuries, but we have got quite a few at the moment, so I think that was a fantastic achievement from the players tonight.
I know managers always say they never look at the table, so you don't know where you are, do you?
Oh, I know where we are. I know where we are, and you know, I think that for the start we've had, you know, we had a terrible start against Man City, and as I say, with the injuries, I don't want to keep going on about it, but we have got quite a few, and it's been a really unsettled side. Keep changing and mixing and matching, but you know, great team spirit, and I think it was epitomised by Powell tonight. You know, we played him up there on his own on a lot of the time, and he done some fantastic things. I just wish we'd have finished one of his moves off, or he would have finished one of them off, because I think it would have ran the night off.
Well, you're having another terrific season. I've got one of your fans here in the studio, and he's desperate to say, look, please don't leave. You're not going, are you?
I thought Graham was going. I thought Graham was going.
I'll ask him later.
But no, I don't think there's too much in any of this speculation, but it just won't go away. But as I said earlier, and every time I get asked, I'm very happy at the club, and that's as I see it.
You seem to be, or Charlton seems to be, the classic example of a club that hasn't overspent, has been very sensible. You've done it the right way, haven't you?
Well, it's the only way we could do it. I think there's a picture in the programme tonight of a game we played here, and I was involved in it, you know, in 1992, and you know, that was when we was playing with 3 sides at the Valley, and you know, we had no real hope of getting where we are now. So it's a fantastic achievement what we've done. We just like to push on now, and hopefully we can stay in that top half of the league. But it's a tough Premiership this year, and we won't be taking anything for granted. We're going to have to work like that every game for us to get results.
Good luck. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck on Sunday.
Yep.
Just Arsenal to come then, but that's a terrific run they've had after that early start to the season when people again were saying, Charlton, this is the time.
Yeah, that's twice, I think. Last year as well they had a slow start as well, but they're a good side. I mean, they're becoming streetwise in the Premier League, and Bolton have as well to a certain extent, and that's what we've got to take on board at, you know, at our club at Leicester City. You know, you have to survive that first season, and if you can, you've got a better chance of survival in the future.
What is the secret to Charlton's success, or survival, whatever you call it?
A bit of everything. They've got good players. I think maybe Powell Canio summed it up, a good team spirit. I mean, they defended manfully tonight. I mean, you know, they're saying they deserved the win, and they did. I mean, they defended, sorry, very, very well. But the chances created, you had to say that Blackburn had the lion's share of it.
Yeah, Blackburn had the lion's share again. Let's speak to their manager. Graham, thanks for talking to us. Again, you had most of the possession, but no luck tonight.
Well, I think it was more than just most of the possession. We felt that we did enough to get something from tonight's game, but same old story for us. You know, we shoot ourselves in the foot. You know, we've made another mistake tonight. nobody likes to concede goals from set pieces. We've conceded a goal from a set piece. We knew the threat was there before the game. We talked about it, but really, in that first half, they've gone in 1-0 up when really we should have had some goals. Lady Luck's not with us at the moment, and it's hard for me to stand here and talk to you because it's a mixture of anger and a mixture of frustration and a mixture of feeling sorry for myself, but I've got to do it. And I am extremely, not normally stop for words in front of a camera, but I'm extremely frustrated tonight.
Is it anger with particular people or just a general feeling?
No, I'm angry because we've lost a game we shouldn't have lost. Apart from Liverpool here this year, where they did have an extra man for most of the game, we've done well against teams here, but we've been mugged. We're mugged by Fulham. We're mugged tonight. City mugged us on our first home game of the season, and really my players deserve more from the games than they've got so far. But I hope, and in my experience, it will change. Because it's a long, hard season, but right now I feel a little bit sorry for myself, and I'm sure the players do.
Yeah, well, we analysed the goal a lot at half-time. I'm sure I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it again, maybe you don't need to, but what was the problem in your opinion?
Oh, well, we've gone to sleep. It was Gary tonight, and it's been somebody else in the past. We're guilty of shooting ourselves in the foot. I'm saying in the second half to Dean Saunders and Tony Parks, once a game we're chasing a game. What changes can we make? Hoping that we'd get a break. But the ball didn't fall kindly for us tonight in and around their area, and that really was the difference. They've taken their one and only chance in the first half, and that's made it an uphill job for us from then on in. We're playing under pressure, and we're playing with less confidence. They're a team that have won a few games. They've enjoyed a great deal of luck at Portsmouth, and they've enjoyed a bit of luck here tonight. And I'm sure that will change for them as the season goes on. But it's a general feeling of frustration tonight. Once again, we've shot ourselves in the foot.
What would you say, finally, Graham, to any supporters, Blackburn fans, who might be watching this thinking, well, I'm a bit worried about our position now?
Well, it's not a case of being worried. We feel we've got good players here, and we feel that Lady Luck has not been with us. And I'm not one to look for excuses. I'm self-critical. I ask the players to be the same. Have a look in the mirror first before you start pointing fingers at anyone else. And we'll work hard. And with the players I've got here, I believe I've got good players. And we will get points, and we will win games, and we'll have a decent season again.
Thanks for talking to us. I know most people think you were unlucky tonight. Thanks, Graham.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's Graham Souness talking. Tim, as far as Blackburn are concerned, he's obviously very disappointed, very down. And we talked about that goal, didn't we? And really, as he says, they shot themselves in the foot, or one man did, maybe.
Well, I wouldn't totally blame any one man. I thought he was spot on what he said. It's almost exactly what we've been saying here, isn't it? I mean, we analysed this at half-time, and all it is basically a man who's just lost the runner that he's been assigned to look after. And
so we circled Holland, who's backing into his marker.
He is, yeah.
Taking him out of the game.
He is, yeah.
Flitcroft is following the dotted yellow line, and Hreidarsson, and gets left behind.
Yeah, basically, as we see at the, in the earlier shot from head-on, there's one shot from head-on which is a wee bit more conclusive there. And now he starts his run, and he's just gained that vital yard and a half. And at this level, you get punished.
But Blackburn had so many chances to redeem the situation, didn't they?
Yeah.
And whether it was Lady Luck or whether it was just failure to take those chances, maybe it was bad tactics at the beginning, was it, playing Cole up on his own?
No, that's actually the point I was trying to make at half-time when Jansen came on, was actually it isn't really 4-5-1 going forward, it becomes 4-3-3, because there's always certainly two players that join up with Andy Cole, so it's not really a negative formation. So that's why I thought he might leave it for maybe quarter of an hour, to maybe change it after 60 minutes, but he's gone and made it 4-4-2 at half-time, and they've still created chances. They've created 4 or 5 in the first half, and they've had a similar sort of chance count in the second half, really. And they've come up against a man tonight in great form. Dean Kiely was outstanding, made 2 great saves, and the one I preferred, the brave one, really, where he's gone down and he's prepared to get hurt for the cause, and he has got hurt for the cause, but that's terrific goalkeeping.
Yeah, well, he had a tremendous match, and maybe he could have been man of the match as well.
Yep.
Just a selection of his saves tonight.
Yeah, that was first half. The unsighted from the free kick, which is moving away from him, done tremendously well to get that round the post. That's that flick header from Matt Jansen. He's at full stretch. I think they made the point it was missing. I think he might be hitting the post, actually, and that's a great save. But this is the one. Great cross from, I mean, look at that. That's duty to the cause, that. and that's about 10 minutes after, and he's had his fingers strapped up and he's checked his head for cuts and he's gone down at feet again. So he's had a terrific night.
He tried everything, Graham Souness. He brought on Jansen at half-time, brought on Dino Baggio as well, the Italian, and Baggio came very, very close as well, didn't he? I mean, he could have had a goal, or at least his first or his second goal for the club.
Yeah, it was a half chance. It was a difficult angle for him. The young lad who came on, Gallagher, looked sharp. He got 2 or 3 very telling crosses in. I think if this is the chance, this will be one of them.
This is the Baggio chance.
Yeah, the ball goes out wide. And he gets a great ball in, and Dino's just got he's made a late run into the box and just got his toe end on it, but it's, as Alan Smith said, really, really close to that far post. So gets his head up, look, good delivery, he gets across his man at the near post, and that's agonisingly wide from Blackburn's point of view. And you know, on another day, that drops in just inside the post, and everyone goes home happy, but it's just one of them little spells at the minute. But as I honestly believe that Graham Souness was spot on. And as I said, I think things will turn for them.
Dwight York seems to be out of the picture at the moment. He wasn't even on the substitutes bench. Andy Cole was playing, we'll say, on his own up front. 249 goals, one away from the elusive 250. Did he look like scoring tonight?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He'll always look like scoring, Andy. He gets into positions on a regular basis. Sometimes they go in for him and sometimes they don't. But as his record suggests, they go in more often than not. Keeps getting across people in the box. He's gone for the near post there, might have gone far post, it just can't quite, it's just a wee bit too high for him there, and young Thompson's coming in behind him, might have had a freer header, but I don't think centre forwards are going to duck them, to be honest with you.
Thanks very much, Tim, for the moment. After the break, we shall be looking back again at that match. We shall also be looking ahead to some of the more action this week, which of course is the Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday, and also, never to be missed, Fan Zone commentary on tonight's game.
Right, Gresko, lift that up. That's gone in there nicely.
Oh, David Thompson, one of the smallest men on the pitch.
UEFA Champions League with the music coming up Tuesday and Wednesday here on Sky Sports. It starts at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Lokomotiv against Inter is that game. Juventus against Real Sociedad follows it. It's on Sky Sports 2. Lyon against Bayern Munich on Sky Sports Extra, and you can follow on the interactive service all the other games, or at least 4 other games happening on Tuesday. On Wednesday, Sky Sports has the lot. Rangers against Manchester United. If you want to watch the whole of that game, that's on Sky Sports 2. If you want to watch the whole of Chelsea against Lazio, that's on Sky Sports Extra. If you want to watch any of the other 6 matches, including Real Madrid against Partizan Belgrade, you can do so by pressing the red button. On Monday Night Football, it's been a very frustrating evening for Blackburn Rovers and their manager, Graham Souness. Herman Hreidarsson scored the only goal of the game for Charlton. He scored it in the first half. And what about the fans? Craig Rose and Simon Monk are your men.
We've not really got much height in the side without Bartlett and Rufus.
Oh, Powell.
Yes! Get in there! Double H's first goal for Charlton. Just when we thought this game was going nowhere, in it goes.
It has gone.
Was it a Powell corner? The man has turned the game again.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And a kiss for it as well. Down the line, down the line. I still think we've got a target man playing. In it! In it! Oh!
He had it covered. Sit down, will you?
Covered, he was walking.
You don't want to be playing about with it there.
Go on, Scotty. Go on, Scotty. You can do it. Go on, Scotty. Go on, Scotty. Go, Scotty. Oh! He can do that all day, mate, and he'll do it in an England shirt soon. We're getting
right, Gresko, lift that up. That's gone in there nicely.
Oh, David Thompson, one of the smallest men on the pitch. Play it out wide. Play it out wide.
Right, Gallagher, let's see if you can get a decent
score. The short one. That one.
Oh, Dino!
It's going to be one of those days.
Right, Simon, Charlton. Tremendous win tonight.
Yeah, we did win. Blackburn didn't lose, we won. We took our chance, we played well, we was organised, defended well, kept them out.
So what did you think of what Graham Souness was saying there?
Well, he's got to say that. He's upset. He knows his team can play better than that. I know they can play better than that. But we went there, we've done a number on them.
Reid, was it a number done on you?
At the end of the day, we lost, didn't we? I'm not disheartened, not by any stretch, but disappointed at the performance, because we know we can get so much more out of those players. Possession, 59-41, it wasn't enough in the 18-yard box, though. You know, it's all well and good holding it in midfield, but you've got to be pushing forward. And Andy Cole up on his own. I know Tim's saying, you know, you've got people like Brett Emerton, David Thompson that can support him. May play 4-3-3, but he just wasn't on form up on his own. He was struggling.
Okay, let's look ahead. Let's talk about the Champions League first of all. I don't know where to start. Let's start with the team that's at the top, shall we? That's Arsenal. You're going to be playing on Tuesday in Kiev. Tim Flowers, of course, who's been our guest tonight. Let's talk about what is coming up on Sky Sports, and of course it's to Charlton. They've done it again. Just too hot to handle, or just unlucky for Blackburn. Thanks very much for watching.
Calls on mama, I'm sure all the hand and I just around. Action speaks louder than words, and I'm a man of great experience. I know you got another man, but I can love you better than him. Take my hand, don't be afraid. I'm gonna prove every word I say. I'm advertising love for free, so you can place your ad to me. Once I come along and down by the dozen, I ain't nothing but let me light your candle, calls on mama, I'm sure all the hand and I just around. Oh yeah, 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 Once I roll along and down by the dozen, that ain't nothing but 10, 10, 11. Hey little babe, let me light your candle, calls on mama, I'm sure all the hand and I